Hello, welcome to Board Games with Niramas. I'm Niramas and I'm here today with Drako. He's holding the box of the Rise and Fall of Anvalor, this Warhammer Age of Sigmar game from WizKid, designed by Rustan Håkansson. And so before we get started, I'm going to do something out of the ordinary, because I didn't do an unboxing for this game, but I do want to show you here. I want you to see this lovely insert, and I just love how these are the tiles for different players, different bosses you meet, and everything is organized and really good quality tiles. So really impressed me with this box here. So let's get into the game. Let's get started, and I am going to explain the game as we go. So me and Drako, we are ready out here to defend the city of Anvalor. There's the building spots that we will build up the city and try to defend it against these orcs that are coming to try to, burn it down. It could be different. It could be 3 different bosses basically, or enemies. This time we will face up against Gulgas Stoneclaw Custom Pass. And you can sort of see him over there. And some, story as well. And what you do in this game also is fun, that you choose a tile for the boss that you're fighting. And you can go from 1 to 4 in difficulty level. So this is level 2. This is not the easiest one. Sort of in the middle there. And that determines a bit what happens when you roll a 6 and so on in the game. In this game, we are using basically our hands of, well, not cards, but tiles. So we each start with a bunch of tiles, and we also pick a faction, and we pick a sort of leader or like a special ability for our faction. So Drako here, Drako is the Anvils of Heldenhammer, the black player, but also here he has his Deathly Aura, count support for defense rolls. That's his special ability that he will have the whole game. Also here we can see that in his deck here of tiles, he has 9 units and 11 buildings. And we can see like he has 1 knight and so on. We can see exactly what he has there. I am going to be playing the Hammers of Sigmar. And so I have 10 units and 10 buildings, and my special ability here, Soul of the Stormhost. One of your units dies, then I get to take it back to my hand, even if it goes over my hand limit. That's really cool. So Drako has a starting hand here of 5 tiles. I have the same on my side. Here we have the enemies. Here's the city board, where we can build sort of common buildings for the city that would benefit both of us. But at the same time, when we start building these, that will attract the orcs coming to pillage and raid us. So we don't want to do that right away. So over here, I am the yellow player here. I have my items, and also we have a bunch of cool dice for this. So we're going to use my little ugly dice tower to roll those dice. So I'm going to be the first player, and what I do on my turn is one thing basically. There's a really good turn overview card, and on the back of it, it's actually rules to remember. I really love when publishers do this, when they just point out some rules that it's easy to forget when you start playing a game. So good. So on my turn, I can place a faction building, which is one of my buildings that belong to my faction. I could place a faction unit, which is also in this deck, units. Or I can place a city building, those city buildings that are common for both of us. Or I can pass. If I pass, I will draw an extra card. Okay, so I am going to place a building. That's my plan. But to do that, if I take a look at one of my buildings here, my faction building, this one requires 2 stone. If I use it to pay for another building, it gives me 1 stone. But I am going to, let's see, I have this Templars here. They provide 1 stone. So I discard this to get 1 stone. And then I don't have any other stone, because my other tiles here, this gives me, like manpower. It's the green symbol. Or gold. That's the 3 currencies in the game. So gold, I need that to build the common, the city buildings. And manpower, I need to put out units. But right now I need 1 more stone. And since I don't have that, I can take 2 of these. And I can discard them as any, like a wild card. So that way I will get 2 stone, so that I can place my War College. And this will give me 1 manpower permanently when I place Knight. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I get to place anywhere I want out here. I should also mention, could be a bit confusing here, but this row here that has the 1p on it, that's just for 1 player. When you play 1 player, this is the area you have. If you play 3 or 4 players, you turn the board around, and then you have more places to place. But as in a 2-player game, this is also empty space for us. So we have a 4x4 grid here. And the building I kind of want to place sort of in the middle, so I want to protect it a little bit, because there will be enemies coming out here on the flanks that will move through the city and destroy things in their way. So I placed that War College, and that was my whole turn. At the end of my turn I will draw 2 more tiles. So I got a Foundry and a Lord's Tower, and as you can see, the Foundry costs 3 stone to place, but it provides 1 manpower if I just discard it as payment. So we'll see what I'll do on my next turn, but now it is Draco's turn. Now, at the end here, I will also check if there were a city building built, if there were an empty slot on the city building board. Now I would roll the d6, and enemies would show up. And if enough enemies show up, 3 on the same front, then we will have an assault, and we will start, fighting them and so on. But we'll come to that later. Now it is Draco's turn. What does he want to do? Let's see. He has Judicators. That's a unit, a ranged unit that will roll a d6. And let's see, they take 3 manpower. That's kind of expensive. The Protectors are cheap though. But he doesn't have any manpower provided to him. He only has a bunch of gold and some stone. Maybe he will go for this watchtower instead. After enemies are revealed, he may move 1 unit. That could be good for him. And it costs 2 stone, so he will give up these 2 that provide stone. They're up in the right corner. Goes to his discard pile, and he can place this out. And the discard pile in this game is interesting, because it matters like which order you discard things, because once the deck runs out, then you will just flip your discard pile over. So this card that Draco discarded here first, the Judicators, that will be the first card that he will draw after he has gone through his whole stack of tiles. So that's kind of interesting. I like that in the game. So let's say he's going to place up here, I think, his watchtower. And now he will draw 2 new tiles, and he will not roll for enemies since nobody has built any city buildings yet. 1 of your units is killed, draw 2 tiles. That's pretty good. And a ranger, we'll see what he will do on his next turn. Now it's back to me. And I have my 3 tiles here. I don't really know if I can do that much with them. I could get this Ether Wings out. This is good because it gives +1 support. The units will support each other as we attack the enemies. So I'd rather get this Foundry out. That gives a permanent stone and a permanent gold. That would be really good. But that's cost of 3 stone. I don't have that. I could pass. I'm going to go for these Ether Wings. So I'm going to place them out. I'll place them out here in the corner where they can attack both here and here and here. And we do get some glare there, which is annoying. I'm trying to fix that. And I'll pay for them using this Foundry, so I'll discard that. And at the end of my turn, I will draw 2 new tiles. The Stonecatcher's Guild is good because that provides a stone. I definitely want to build that if I can. And the Lord El Relictor here is cool as well. He has both a ranged and a melee attack, and he's a knight and a magician. We'll see how that goes. And now we head over to Draco. Alright, so the glare is fixed, mostly at least. And then we have Draco's turn. Let's see what he will be doing. So we'll see, he could build... I think he wants to get some unit out there, but once again, he doesn't really have much that provides the manpower that he needs. So let's say he would build this ranger. Oh, he can't even. Can build the protectors. So I guess he will do that. He will spend the ranger. He will discard that instead then to get the protectors out. There's a lot of glare on these, but they are really glossy, so sorry for that. So the protectors will go out here. Let's see where he will place them. And I think he's thinking sort of like I am. So I think he will place them where, like in a corner where they can reach to attack both on the 4s here and some of the 1s. So we don't know where the enemies will show up. That comes later. Now Draco gets 2 more tiles. And he got the Liberators. Oh, 2 Liberators. So I definitely want to get one of those out there. Now that's interesting. There's both Liberators. They have the same effect and all that. They roll the d8. But this guy provides stone. This provides manpower if discarded. So it's back to my turn. And I think actually this time around I will pass. So I will not place anything on my turn. I could discard now if I wanted to, but I don't think I want to. I think I'll keep my tiles, and then I'll draw, I will draw a +1, so I will draw 3 now. But since I have a max hand size of 5, I'll just draw 2 here. And now I did get what I wanted. I wanted stone. So there we go. 2 buildings here. Then it is Draco's turn again. And now I think Drako will... Let's see, can he place... Yeah, he's going to play these Liberators here. Because they take 2 manpower. But he has 1 from this one. He will discard that. And then he has 1 by just discarding both of these. So that's a wild card. That's gold normally, but that's a wild card now for him. And the Liberators, I think he'll place them down in this corner perhaps. They are extra good. They get +2 attack roll against knights. So he's hoping that the enemy has knights. And we can see down here on the enemy, the boss card, they have 6. They have most of their enemies sort of are knights. 6 of them. 3 are dragonkin, or sort of, and 2 are magicians. And I guess the other ones are just, I don't know, something else. Just they don't have like one of those stats. So then Drako will draw 2 cards. Or 2 tiles. And he got 2 more buildings. Seems he has a lot of buildings, but he wants to get this one. The brick works out, and he can do it by paying this, so I think that works out for him. Well, he kind of wants to get both of these out, because they both help him out to build more units and buildings later on. But now it is over to my turn. And now I think I will build this Stonecutter's Guild. It takes 2 stone. I'm going to give up this Lord's Tower. And I also will give up... I'll give up this blessed fountain. So I get 2 stone there, and I can build a Stonecutter's Guild. Now I will have a permanent stone, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to build. I think I'll put it here. It's like no matter where I put it. I mean, now this column is sort of dangerous for me because I have 2 buildings in it. But if I put it there, then this row is dangerous. So I think it, no matter how I do it, there's always, I need to protect them no matter what. Then I get 2 more tiles. It's 2 units, Prosecutors and Lord Celestant on Drakot. And that's a knight. So I get some, it's easier for me. I mean, it costs 5 though. So that's really expensive. Then we go to Draco's turn. And he's going to pass because he needs tiles. So now he's going to draw 3 because he's passing. And he's really just looking for stone. And he got 2 ways to produce stone there. So that's good. So back to my turn. I mean, these city tiles here, they also have special abilities. So this well, it costs 2 gold to place. Or it should actually be here. Placed in wrong. Yeah. So it costs 2 gold to place. It will get 4 points, basically, for glory if you buy it. And then whenever any one of us plays a faction building, we get to draw a tile. This one only costs 1 gold, and when we place a unit, we get to draw a tile. So that's pretty good. That is actually really good. Should I build it, maybe? But then again, if I build it, enemies will start coming. I think I'm going to gamble a bit. I'm going to spend this one to get, that's a 1 gold. And I'm going to build this large inn, and I will instantly get 2 influence here. That is points basically for the end of the game, because it could look, I mean, we're sort of cooperating in some ways. We're building the city together, but we are competing against each other. There's only going to be 1 winner depending on those points, and we will also get points for defeating enemies, so that's something that comes later as well. And where do I place this one? I think I'll place it here in the middle, large inn. So now if I or Drako place a unit, we get to draw a tile. That's really good. And now I will draw 2 more cards, or tiles. I keep saying cards, but... And yeah, and then I will actually now have to roll and place an enemy. So I will roll, because there's an empty spot out there on the city building board. So now I'll have to roll the dice. So we'll see what happens here. And I got a 1, okay? So 1 means that I take the top enemy here. I don't look at it, it's secret. And I place it down anywhere I want here on the 1 slots. And here's also a lot of competition coming in, because, I want to place it. This is going to go, when they attack, it's going to go straight over like this. So I want to place it in a row where Drako will be hit mostly. But yeah, I'll place it up here. There we go. And then we check for assault, but there's only one enemy. If there's ever 3 enemies on the same side, the same front here, they will attack. So now it is Draco's turn. And now he's going to build this archaeological post. Cost 1 stone. No, yeah, 1 stone. And he's going to give up the study hall, get a stone. And now he will place this. Wow. Now he knows there's an enemy up there. I think he'll just place it down here, actually. And now it's going to be easier for him to put out units. And when he puts out units, he's going to get to draw a tile. So there's a lot of combinations going on here. And now he will draw 2 new tiles. And there's the Judicators and the Protectors. That's good. So this is free for him because he already has 1 manpower to use. So that was his draw. And now he has to roll the die to see where the enemies show up. And that's a 2. So Draco will put 1 out here on the 2s. I think he'll put it here. He wants an enemy there because in this column there's only my buildings. And that means, I mean, I can fight with this guy, but now I need more, units here basically. So my turn, I will try to put a unit out. Oh, let's see. Well, this guy, this is a knight. So that means that I get one manpower there. I need 4. I could get 2 from these 2, giving up those. And then I'll give up the rest of my tiles to get wild card. It's expensive, but he's really good though. So I'll put him out like this, I think. Right here to try to defend my buildings. Then I will draw 2 new ones. And, wow, wait. When I place the unit, I get to draw tiles. So first I get to draw a tile. It would be this one. The Prosecutors. And then I get to draw 2 more tiles at the end of my turn. So, Knight Asyros and Church of Sigmar. And that has the same effect, place a unit, draw a tile. So that would be nice to have out, to get to draw 2 tiles whenever I place a unit. But now I have to roll for enemies as well. So let's see what happens. It's a 4. So they will show up over there. And I think I'll just put it here now. I am putting enemies next to Draco here, which means he can fight them and get some points perhaps if he kills them. But yeah, I'm going with that. Now it is Draco's turn. And he also wants to put up more units. And remember, he has +1 from over here for the manpower. So he can get these Judicators out. They cost 3 -1, so that's 2. So he will give up his library for 1. And I think he'll give up his Blackworks for 1 as well. He's not going to build many more buildings now, as it looks. So, I mean, the enemies are starting to come here. We need units. So he's going to place these Judicators. I think he'll place them... I think he'll place this guy up here. It's good to have them next to each other because they will provide, like, next to the enemies, because they will provide support. I'll explain how that works later. But for now, he placed the unit, so he gets to draw a tile. That is the servant quarters. And then he gets to draw 2 more. And he's almost through his deck now. And that's 2 buildings. Okay. Now he will roll for the enemies. So we'll see where they show up. And it is a 1 again. Okay. And now Draco, I think he'll put it down here. So he has a good chance here of, trying to fight it. And he hopes that it's a knight, actually. So that it's +2 for him. Then it is back to me. And let's see. I mean, I want more units. This is he costs 4. He's not a knight though. Wow, so I can't afford him. Should I pass? I think I will. I will pass, grab 2 tiles. None of them provided the manpower that I need right now, but okay. If I built this one, it's the same that Draco has, basically. +1 manpower all the time, but now I will roll for enemies. And if I roll a 1, we will actually get an assault, we'll see. And that's a 1, okay. So we will have the first assault of the game. I get to place this. Well, I don't want to lose. Okay. I mean, Draco can fight up here. I'm gonna... Wow, this is tricky. We don't have that many units left. I think we were too quick on building that building to start with. But Now we will have an assault, and we will reveal the cards from here. We have an arrow up here, so this is the first one to reveal. It's Grot Spider Riders. They have 3 power, and when killed by a melee attack, the unit that killed them must roll the d4. On a 1, it's killed, so that's scary. Also, we should note that because we're playing this level 2 difficulty, when they advance, which is when they move, they will have +1 strength when they try to, roll over us, basically. So let's remember that. Then we have this guy. He is he's a 10. The Ale Gustler Carcant. When he's killed, he destroys all adjacent buildings. Wow, that is terrible. A 10 already? I mean, it's random from this deck, but... And then we have the Grot Fungoid Cave Shaman. 2 power. When killed, all adjacent units... And that's basically the enemies. So units and enemies must roll a d4 and are killed on a 1. This is interesting because he's a knight as well, so it's easy. I mean, Drako gets a guaranteed kill against him. So that is good, and that's actually a way to take care of this guy. If Drako kills this one, he rolls a 1. But anyhow, we are going to start here from the arrow. So we're going to look up here. Is there any enemy that can fight these guys? And there is. The protectors up here. They will roll a d6, and they have +2 against Dragonkins. But this is not one of those. This is just a Spider Rider. So he has 3 power. Drako needs to roll a 3 or higher on the 6-sided die. And if, like say this 10 guy here, he seems really strong, right? There's no way to roll a 10 on this die, but it is this exploding die. So if you roll a 6, you can keep rolling, you can push your luck. But if you ever roll a 1, that's a sort of critical loss. That's a failure, as it's called in this game. So Drako is rolling. He needs to hit a 3. And he got a 6. And now he could continue if he wants to, but there's no reason now. Drako killed this guy. No problem at all. He will get 3 points for that. So here's 3 points to Drako. But the unit must roll the d4. On a 1, it's killed. So this is scary. Drako's unit here might go out. We'll see. Here's the... Well, let's see. That's a 3. So he's okay. Good. That's important. I mean, even for me... Well, in this case, I don't really care because these are just going to hit Drako, right? But in some cases, you do root for each other. You cheer for each other when you roll good. Because they might kill your own buildings and so on. Okay, so we continue here in the first wave. Now we look whoever can attack down here, and it's the Liberators. And Drako can. Now there's no support involved. That's a bit sad. Because, if Drako had a unit here that was adjacent to this guy, and Drako attacked, he would get +1 from the supporting unit. But now the Liberators will attack, and he's going to attack this Grot Fungoid Cave Shaman. And he basically doesn't have to roll because he has +2 against knights. So he's rolling the d8 and he would have gotten a 7. Okay, that's nice. And so this guy is toast and he gives Drako 2 points. But of course, when killed, all adjacent units and monsters must roll a d4. Let's see if Drako survives this. So I think Drako will roll for himself first. And that's a 2, so he's okay. And then Drako will roll for this Gargant. Let's hope we get a 1. No, it's a 3. Okay, so he's okay as well. Well, that's kind of good because then you get to see what happens now. Because now you can only attack once per attack wave. So now everybody who could attack has attacked. And you have to attack, by the way. You can't just choose not to, which I like as well. So everybody has attacked and now the enemy will advance. So this guy will go 1 step like this. Nothing there, so nothing happens. If he had moved onto a building, like if he moves onto this one, then that's going to be destroyed instantly. If he moves onto a unit, the unit gets to do a defense roll. Now, sadly, in that defense roll, advancing enemies will have +1 as we're playing with this one here. So, well, he already has 10, so, Okay, so now, once again, we go back to the attacking. So now we're in the second attack wave. Nobody can attack up here. Nobody is close enough. Well, actually, this guy... Ooh, I didn't realize that. The Judicators here, they can attack enemies 2 spaces away. Wow. So they could have... Yeah, but we don't needed it. But they could have attacked up here as well. But they can attack now 2 spaces away. They have a ranged and they're rolling a 6. And the good thing with being ranged is that even if they fail, they will not die. If you're melee and you're fighting and you fail your roll, then you die instantly. So they will roll a d6. Now he's a 10, so this is going to be hard. And that's a 6. That's good. That's exploding die. Drako can keep on rolling. If he rolls a 4 now, he solved it. And that's a 3. That's so close. So Drako did 9 in total. But sadly, that's not enough. This guy is just staying there. Nothing happens because it was ranged. Okay, now the Liberators can fight. So they will use... Drako will use his 8-sided die. This is not a knight, so he doesn't get +2. So basically to win, he has to roll an 8 and then roll a 2 at least. Yeah, we'll see. And that's a 5. Okay, so he failed, which means that this Liberator dies. Sadly, he goes to Draco's discard. If it would have been my guy, then he would have gone to my hand because of my special ability here. And now the enemy will advance. So this guy will just, burn down the large inn. It's gone. And then we go to the next round of attacking. Now the Judicators here can shoot from up there. They can shoot enemies 2 spaces away. So they will start. Now once again they only roll a d6, so it's not that easy for them, but that's a 6, so they can continue. And that's a 1, okay. So they tried. Now we come down to my Lord Relictor here, and he's a bit special because he has both a ranged and a melee attack. So I can choose which one I use, and the ranged attack is actually better on him because it's a d8. And also, when he attacks in ranged, there's no risk of him dying, and he may reroll ranged attack rolls for this and adjacent units. So yeah, definitely I want to do that in a ranged mode. So we'll see how that goes. I need a 10 on my d8. Well, you know what I mean. It's a 7, so I get a reroll, a miss. Yeah. And that's a 2. Okay, but nothing happens because I was ranged. Now, though, he will continue to move. So my War College is gone. Just smashing it. And we go back to attacking. Once again, we start up here with the Judicators. They can still attack because it's 2 spaces away. That's pretty good having those out there. And that's a 6, so they can continue. And that's a 2. Wow, that's the 3rd time that they rolled a 6 at first. And then we go down here. Now my other wings can actually attack as well. And the interesting thing now is because he's over here, the other wings will provide a support. So when this guy attacks them, he will get +1. And he will actually get +2 because the other wings gives +1 support. They are really weak themselves. They only have a d4 when they attack, but they are a support unit. So now that I roll with the Lord Relictor here, he has +2. And he has a d8, so he could just kill this guy in one sweep. We'll see. It's a 5. And he can reroll missed once, so... As a 3, so still nothing. But I don't really mind that too much. Because now he will just move on to this and kill Draco's building. But to be honest, every unit has to attack if they can, so the other wings has to attack as well. It is possible for them to win if they just roll 4s twice. This guy will provide 1 support, so they have +1. That's a 3, so nothing. Okay. And they can actually reroll. May reroll missed ranged attacks for this and adjacent units, so this other wings can reroll as well. And that's a 1. So that's a total failure. Okay. So, the Ailgusser Gargant will keep moving, and he will destroy Draco's building. So this is kind of a weird situation where I'm trying to kill him. But of course, if I kill him, I get 10 points as well, so I'm not going to complain about that. Next time he moves, though, he will go into a number that is not his own. It's not the number that he came from, which means he will just go out of the map, or die, basically. But we don't get any points, of course. Now, though, I have 2 more shots at taking him out. Well, actually, the Judicators have a shot as well, because they're still 2 spaces away. So let's see if they get... No, they got a 2. Okay, so then they can't even add or explode. So I am going to do the Lord Relictor, first of all. He has +2 because of the other wings, so... That's a 2, but he can reroll. And that's a 4, so nothing there. And now the other wings can roll, they have +1. That's a 2, and they fail, but they can reroll. And that's a 2. Okay, so we're not going to kill this guy, sadly. That's a lot of points just walking out of the game. But he cleared up some space here for sure, and now we go back to just, build buildings, put out units, and try to handle these assaults. When this deck runs out, the game is over, and the final thing that will happen is that they will all gather on one side, and they will do a massive sort of, final assault. So this is how the Rise and Fall of Anvalor works and how it plays. I really enjoy it. It's not really my type of game in some ways because of all those dice rolling, but I think it's fun anyway. And you can build up a lot of strategy and plan how to have support and plan how to put out the enemies so that they hit your opponent, not you. You can play this game up to 4 players. I haven't tried that yet, so I can't really speak for that. But for a 2-player game, I really enjoy it. I think it's really fun. Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the Rise and Fall of Anvalor. And thank you for watching this run-through of the game. If you liked it, please press the like button as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening or morning, or whenever you're watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Be like Drako. Follow Board Games with Niramas on Facebook at BGW Niramas. Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.